Hotline.
Dan.
Yes'o!
Hey, girl, hey.
Oh, hello.
How's it hanging?
That's so derogatory. If you really think about it. Am I thinking about it wrong? What else does that mean? How's it hanging? It was on an episode of The Office. Michael Scott said that to like a group of people and they all got uncomfortable. And then I was like, why did they get uncomfortable? And then I thought about it and thought, wait, is that what that means?
Talking about a penis. How's your penis hanging?
I guess. Or scrotum or breast. I don't know.
It could be anything. So it's not specifically derogatory to any gender. Because men and women.
It's kind of, no, that's not true, Shanti, because even if somebody say, how's your breast hanging? It's still weird to me. Like, why would you ask me that? She's like, just as long as it's.
Everybody got something that's hanging. So it's cool. Universal. Everybody has something.
It could be hair, though. It could be, I don't know. How could we clean that up? I really need to know because I need to know if I should say that to people or not.
Is that something you want to say to people? Hey, how's it hanging?
I feel like maybe I have. And I don't know. I don't know if it's bad.
I to hear you say that, actually.
I feel like in a corporate setting, I try to put on like my white voice. I'm like, how's it hanging? And I don't know if that's right.
HR, please call Antoinette in to the
Somebody
office.
Help me, please, and tell me that's wrong or right. Anyway.
Okay, well, I saw you a couple days ago. We attended. Maybe this is the last reference to Renee this year. Maybe
Never.
not. Jesus. She did that holiday bazaar this past Sunday. It was just immaculate, well produced, well curated, just a good time. From 12 to 6, it was just an influx of beautiful Black beings. Good music. That DJ, from the minute that DJ plugged in his aux, it was...
Wasn't an aux?
I don't know what he did, but that DJ did not miss once.
He was good. Good job by you, Renee.
From the time he started, I said,
what's his name?
DJ. I know that song.
Renee, can you tell us who that DJ is? You got a crush or you just followed him?
DJ High Fashion, let's go.
Did he play that? I didn't hear that.
No, but that's my intro for him. And he was just giggling.
Do you have a crush?
And play good music, huh? What a life you living.
Can you hear me? I asked you twice if you had a crush. You haven't responded yet.
I didn't hear you.
Can you turn me up in your headphones, please? I'm telling you, I'm gonna start asking you because you don't even look up. So I'm like, she can't hear me.
Because I'm sensitive that you pick up in that.
I know that I pick up in your mic. We used to have those problems. I think Monty saves us now.
Did I have a crush on him? Nah, that's a shame. I haven't had a crush.
You did, briefly.
Yeah.
And he ruined it.
Dead and gone. Dead and gone.
Just like him.
Oh, no. He's alive and well.
No, he's alive. But I'm mad. In my heart, I'm mad. But go ahead.
That's good. And then, that was on Sunday. Monday, I attended the Black Star Luminary Gala. This is the first gala that I have ever attended. I did not know what to expect. And it was nothing beyond fantastic. Ooh. Is that the right saying?
Nothing beyond. Nope, that's not right.
How you say it was nice? It was amazing. It was so well produced. It's the closest thing that I will ever get to like the Oscars or the BET Awards.
Why would you say that? Like you don't know that.
Who knows? Maybe, but I'm one step closer then. But it was like just gorgeous. Everybody was gorgeous. We sat down. And there was a script. It was hosted by, and this is a dream come true, Chandra Russell and Bashir Salahuddin. You know, I've talked about those people. They are the creators and actors of Southside. They hosted it. It was written. Shout out to the writing. by Denise Beek and Rashid Sakat. They did all of the writing for the hosts. Gorgeous, amazing. It was so well done. They were funny. They didn't miss a beat. Child, I was having heart palpitations because I could see the fucking writing drawn, the prompt, and
Prompter.
didn't miss a beat. I said, this is professional Black couples that have worked together and are on point. And the night was, of course, a fundraiser for Black Star to help with their programming and put on the again immaculate festival that they put on each year. And they honored Shannon Maldonado, which I've mentioned on here before as well, who is an amazing business owner, retail owner. She owns a hotel as well, just very supportive of design community and the small retail community. So I was just always inspired in awe of her work. And then Telfar Clemens was there. Oh. And Babak, I don't know his creative director's name, but I love his work. And to see what Babak Radboy was there. And he had something really amazing to tell people. He went up there, because everybody would go up there and be, all of the honorees would go up, or people that were presenting, and, because it's all Black folks and woke Black folks, constantly, talk about liberation, Mumia, reparations, past lives. Rightfully so, lots of people talking about Palestine and bringing urgency and attention to that crisis that's happening. But he came up there, Babak, who is the creative director of Telfar, and was like, listen, you want us to share, we come up here and we're all in this industry and everybody wants to share gems with one another. And my gem is basically, if we are really serious about liberation, you have to understand, if people are going to give you tons of money, you have to lie to them. And the crowd just kind of like blinked, or like, you ain't even paying attention, Internet. You clearly are not paying attention. What are you looking at? What are you looking at?
Somebody just wrote me. I'm on my work computer. Somebody just wrote me at work.
God. Anyway, it was a really wonderful evening, and I was honored to be seated at the same table as those two people, and to be amongst and included and thought of in such an incredible space with incredible people. So shout out. You would have appreciated it. Shout out to Katie Bagley, who produced the entire event like a fucking G. And I hope she feels really proud of herself and knows what she's capable of, because that was just top-notch white excellence. Shout out to her. White excellence for a Black excellent show.
Amen. It's tricky.
How you doing? I'll pay attention to you. I won't zone out so you feel like you're not talking to anybody.
As many times have you been typing in my ear? We can play this game if you want to.
Okay.
Do you want to play that game?
We should bring attention to when we're not paying attention to one another.
I can't wait. I cannot fucking wait.
Please.
How you literally will glaze over.
I do that in general. I'm not present in any of my conversations.
Exactly. So sorry, I got a ping at work and I just logged out of Teams. So because the problem is I'm on my work computer and they see that my little thing is green. Okay. So I just put up an out of office so they don't think I'm still online working, even though it's 8:14 at night. Me, your birthday's coming up and I'm sad that I won't. We tried. I want everyone to know here that the girls wanted to celebrate Shanti, but this is just a very busy time for Shanti and she does not have availability. And so we're looking for other dates. There is a group chat. I'm supposed to ask you about dates, but you also seem like you don't want to be bothered after Christmas. So it's tricky with you. It's like,
it's okay. Can we celebrate?
It's like you won't let us. It's like, can we just get together or no? You really don't want to give us any of your time.
I don't want to do anything after the holidays. I want to go away. That's
You
what I
haven't
would
even
really like
asked
to
me to
do.
go away, and
I
I
don't
want to
want to
go
go away
away.
with anybody. I'm sorry. I want
That's
to
fine,
go
because I don't
away.
actually want to go away with you either. I need a break. We
Great
need a
start
break.
to this. I'm
This
so
is
excited for this
good.
episode.
No, this is
So
us
excited.
be having radical honesty with one another, and I think it's a beautiful thing. And I want you to go away and have a wonderful trip. So you let us know how we could support you in that. I know how the Around the Way Curls listeners can.
Oh,
The way that y'all blessed me in the Cash App, I'm going to do the same thing for Shanti's birthday, because that girl created community, and we finna stop. Stop.
This year
Stop. We're not going to self-deprecate.
We're
going
not.
to
It's
celebrate.
actually true. I'm being quite honest. Being radically honest. I got grills. I was very responsible with my money. So,
all right, well, we're going to do a birthday help Shanti pay off her grills that she said when she finally gets, she's made it. And I just want to say, there is a clip of me saying for you to rethink that, and you were like, I don't care, I'm getting my tattoo and I'm getting my grills.
Yeah, I got another thing coming too that I'm not gonna not do either. So
okay, well, help her, somebody.
Her Sag irresponsible mode.
I'm gonna post her Cash App. I don't even know it, but I'm gonna post it, and we're gonna celebrate and hopefully rain on that girl the way that she deserves. But other updates for me. See, the thing is, they had their pod luck, which isn't that cute? Their pod luck. Their year recap, and I was on there, so make sure you check that out. It was me, Mandy, Bridget, of course, and what is the he like fancy too? Ish
Kabibbles.
Exactly. That's immediately what I thought about was Ish Kabibbles. Shout out to Ish Kabibbles in Philly. Even though your cheesesteaks, your chicken cheesesteaks are rather dry these days. But I said it. Ish Kabibbles cheesesteaks be fries, but no fries. They be dry. But Ish was on there, and he's a part of a podcast that will get no love from me on here, but a very famous podcast. And he was interesting. He was interesting. He was dope. He's got interesting.
He's on a controversial
views.
Podcast.
I'll tell you later. Everybody listening probably knows what podcast I'm talking about, but I ain't saying that Nick Rose's name on here. Not that he cares about us. Anyway,
was that the one that said, "Who the fuck is around the way curls"?
Yes.
I love that.
So who the fuck are you? Okay. When he read the Roots Picnic lineup, he was like, "Who the fuck is around the way curls?" And then everybody was like, "Oh my God, you got shouted out on X podcast." And I was like, "Yeah, it wasn't nice. So fuck you, bro." Anyway, been ruminating a lot on this predator or prey thing. Shout out to the guy. I love this woman, Cole Arthur Riley. Talk about her all the time. Black Liturgies and This Here Flesh author. She has on Black Liturgies just curated amazing quotes and prompts and videos of our prominent Black leaders, especially Black leaders of liberation and literature. And there's a Toni Morrison quote that she posted that just struck me, and it said, "Perhaps that's what all human relationships boil down to. Would you save my life or would you take it?"
Bars.
And I just thought, oh my God, Toni. And honestly, I went to the movies with Mandy and them to see the Hunger Games. I didn't know that there was even another Hunger Games out, which really focused in on this, because the Hunger Games is just a criticism of our society and our humanity and capitalism, etc. And also watching The Walking Dead. I'm only got 6 episodes left of the whole series, y'all. And Shanti, the last season is all about capitalism, which is wild to me. They flipped it in a way that's very interesting. There's a functioning society that has a lot, but when they get into that society, it's like wild to see the dynamics and what's actually going on and like the underbelly of it.
Is Walking Dead running, or is it done? Is it done, or is it still?
The original's done. It's been done. but just something to think about. And I've been ruminating on it, and I'm sure when we get back from our break next year, I'll do an episode on it because it's something that um I'd like to say that I would always save a life, but I'm trying to figure out the ways in which I take lives. And I think we all do it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't even know if that's a good idea for me to go down that rabbit hole, but I'm going to go. And then lastly, I had Renee's event on here, and I wanted to shout out a listener who came up to us at that event, and she gifted us with some very lovely travel covers. So they're these cute like you can put them over your seat, and you can put them over, like, the tray at the plane, like when you're on a plane, you can put them over the tray. They're like little mud cloth, like very cute prints, ethnic prints. And she came up to us and had 2 bags ready for us because we said we were going to be there. So I want to shout her out and they're really soft and cute. I was thinking about maybe giving mine to Jasmine. But she is this writing is so small. Sis, make that bigger because I can't even. It's the Unapologetic Traveler. That's where you can find her on IG and support her this holiday season. They're so cute. If you travel a lot, if you travel a lot for work, if you travel a lot for pleasure, what a dope, especially, let me finish my statement. What a dope product, especially since you can hear, and I think both of our voices, that we're sick. Like, I had a fever last night. Cold season is going around. So any way you can protect yourself from the filth that are on these planes and these trains and these buses, do it. So,
I loved it. It was really cute.
It was really cute. So
and she was really kind and sweet. That's hard to do, to just walk up to somebody and be like, it's very vulnerable. We can't do it. So shout out to you.
Yeah. So thank you so much for that, sis. And y'all make sure y'all support her. Again, the Unapologetic Traveler. I can skip the next thing. Shanti, I have a question for you. Who is Roxy Roker? Bitch. Are you serious?
No. Who that?
That's Lenny Kravitz's mom. Okay? Everybody and their mother has called. I sent you this, Shanti.
I've seen everybody's comments about it. I ain't look. But you still ain't know. I didn't look at her name. I just saw that all I saw was she was a black woman.
But she was on the Jeffersons.
Okay,
she's the mom.
I feel like I heard that before.
I gotta go.
I did.
You are not a real person, yo.
Look at Lenny Kravitz's mom this whole time. All right, I apologize.
Yo,
he's still biracial. What that got to do with anything?
Because I didn't listen back, but apparently either you or I or both of us. I know it was you, but I might have co-signed it because I ain't look it up. And
I swore his mom was white.
I had no idea that was his mother at all. But when I tell you the tweets, the texts, the voicemails, the emails, the DMs, and I just looked on our Spotify comments, and mad people commented on the episode on Spotify, like,
gotta get the people going.
I said, all right, we apologize. Shanti facts, misinformation.
Well, you know what it is? People really respect biracials that have black moms more. They're more legitimate. That's the real truth. That's what all of them was like, you're not gonna disrespect that black mother. So I get it. That's that's true, right?
I'm not commenting.
You don't know that that's true? That people that have a black mom are more legitimized, they're more...
I have a question for you, because this came up on another podcast I listened to when they were talking about the Lenny Kravitz thing. Who is on your biracial Mount Rushmore?
We did this already. We
did a biracial Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, we did the top biracials. Yeah,
only 4. You can only pick 4. Do you remember?
No, I have to go back. But
did you know that Frederick Douglass is biracial?
Oh, okay.
I did not know that. I learned that again. Did you know that Booker T. Washington, they say it was biracial?
Bob
Marley, Booker T, Frederick Douglass.
No,
they
say
they claiming Asada Shakur now because she didn't went and got her tests and that shit came back hella white. And they was like, oh,
Asada Shakur?
That's what they claim it.
Who's they? She would never.
The collective.
She would never.
The biracial collective is like, nah, we taking her.
Nah.
Because she's the same as Mariah. Mariah is quadroon. That just sounds racist. Just hearing it. But Mariah has a biracial parent. And they're saying that Asada Shakur has a biracial parent. So the biracials are trying to claim her. And to be clear, biracials, we talking about white and black specifically. I said, these biracials kicking y'all ass right now. We got some solid biracials in there.
We do.
As soon as they added
Movers
Frederick.
And shakers. Holly's on there. Holly's about the finest creature that's ever walked this earth. Not on account on anything that she's done to contribute to society. Aside being the baddest.
Well, she is also the first Black woman to win an Oscar for Best Actress.
And the acting was not the best.
In Monsters Ball? Not even in Monsters. Anyway, move on. Come on. Can you take us into the other part?
All right, y'all. Well, we see that you're commenting. You see, if you got something to say, something getting on your nerves, you got to make a little correction. I apologize, first of all, but thank you so much for commenting. We ask that you continue to comment. We ask that you continue to rate, review, and subscribe on whichever platform you like more, because there are Spotify folks and then there are Apple people. So whichever is clever for you, show up, share your support. It helps us in our data and our legitimation, verification.
Just God. Words. Come on. Just keep going.
Oh, God. Also, if you want to support us financially as well, even.
We begging on this episode. God damn.
Listen, please. NPR does it. They just cut off a whole they take a whole week off to beg and they be talking that shit. Please consider becoming a patron on our Patreon where you can see the podcast. Antoinette is drinking from a Mickey mug because she is too old for that. But that's childish. Most childish.
Somebody gifted this to me.
Because I know you wouldn't have bought that.
Hell no.
Unless you had that since you were 6 or somebody bought that. I could never see you drinking out that mug.
I'm surprised. It's the only mug that was clean.
Mm-hmm. You will see actually a collection of mugs to my left on my dresser if you have Patreon. It is a subscription-based subscription. So it's a tiered-based subscription, $5, $7, or $10 in support of the growth and the maintenance of this podcast. Shout out to the patrons that decided to help us out, show up. Morgan, Maggie, Sierra, Carmen, Geneva, Andrea, and Angelica.
Oh, I love that. Angelica.
Lots of love to y'all. Thank you. I also wanted to just send some heartfelt love to Yo-Yo, who is a listener and who has shown up for us, come to our live shows, when we do our kickback Patreon. Just a lovely being who's showed up for Around the Way Curls and is having a really, really hard moment in their life right now. So I just wanted to say and send lots of love to you, Yo-Yo, and I hope that you're feeling supported, and I hope that you get all the time you need to go through what you have to go through in this moment. But I'm thinking of you.
What happened?
Well,
text me.
I'll text you. It's not anything I feel.
Oh my God. No, don't say it on here, but please text me because I wasn't aware of anything.
Yeah, but everybody, just a collective prayer. Collective love for Yo-Yo. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take a break, Sheila.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Somebody just texted me and said, "Are you typically gassy?" And I said, "Why are you asking me this?" And they said, "Because I'm remembering the night that we spent together and you were gassy."
Were you farting on that person?
I don't know. I just asked.
I will be farting on somebody. I know that's for sure. I definitely fart in my sleep.
Was I farting on you in my sleep? And why would you say that out of nowhere? It hurt me. That is so embarrassing.
You know, there's some women, and we know one.
Eyes twitching.
But there's some women. I know a woman who has been married for over 5 years, and she does not poop or fart near her partner.
Wow. If that, as much as my poop problems is a part of my life, my partner would need to be involved in that. Do you want to know why my mom married her husband?
Why?
Because when he found out about her stomach issues, he was the person that introduced her to IBS. He went out and researched it and got her a book on it. And she thought to herself,
he diagnosed her.
Yep. And she thought to herself, he's the one. I'm dead serious. She says that all the time. She's like, it was the book. I just thought, oh, wow. That was just so kind. And he saw me and he wanted me to feel better. Dang. That's how it all went down. That's when she knew.
Mr. Ryan, a real one.
All right, you ready?
Get together.
Literally. Okay. And we are back. Hot shit. So shout out to, this is a new partnership that Shanti and I just landed. Y'all know them little events we've been talking about. Well, I was reading about them on a particular outlet. The Culture LP put us on. And so now people are actually buying tickets and supporting them. And the Culture LP is a company that highlights very dope events featuring mostly Black and brown talent. And so now they are partnering with Shanti and I on another event off of our hot shit segment. So that is what's up. And this event I'm very excited about. I actually want to try to go. I think I am going to try to go because I'm not going to go home right away for the holidays. But this is a Marvel Studios event where it's Black Panther in concert. And we all know that I went to go see, you've spaced out and you're not paying attention now.
I am listening.
Because you want to play the game? We could play the game.
But I'm not talking directly. You're not talking to me. You know what I mean? We're not in conversation. You're talking to them.
Always in
I
conversation.
know about this.
It's a podcast. Okay?
Yeah, but that's like, it doesn't require me to be like, oh yeah, girl. Anyway, I apologize. Do you want to continue to play the game? For holding me accountable.
Okay. Change behavior is the only apology.
Look at me.
Well, we here now. All right. Go back. Monty, keep all that in. I don't care. But anyway, December 20th through the 23rd is Black Panther in concert. I went to go see Game of Thrones in concert. My sister went to go see E.T. in concert. Now, you didn't hear what I said then because you just got excited and I had already announced what it was. See?
I'm back now. That's what attention will get you.
Do you want to go? Because I think I'm going to go to this.
I would
and
love
we should bring
to
Joe.
go to this.
We should bring Joe and we should bring Sean.
Sean should go. They should go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should bring both of them.
You should take them.
Anyway, I'm going to read the spiel. Experience the cultural phenomenon that is Marvel Studios' Black Panther in concert. Released in 2018, Black Panther quickly became a groundbreaking film, lauded for its action, fun, radical conscience, and profound beauty. Now, witness the cinematic masterpiece while the orchestra performs its Oscar-winning score, an event that seamlessly combines visual and musical artistry. It's an experience you won't want to miss. Rest in peace to the legend Chadwick Boseman. Listen, listeners, I don't know why they put that. That's weird at the end, but I get why they did it, but it was just weird. Listeners, there's 30% off we can offer you, which I'm very happy about.
It's heavy, nigga.
Yeah.
They wasn't even giving 30% off at Black Friday sales.
They weren't. Sable gave what, 15, 20?
20.
Shout out to you. Good job.
Nobody can afford that.
Listen, use Culture LP, no space, all capitals. Culture LP for 30% off or tickets to start at $45 when using that promo code. So basically, you can get a $45 ticket, or if you're getting a higher ticket, you get 30% off the higher ticket. And we'll put the link in this description. So that's very dope. I think that we're going to go. I'm definitely going to go. I don't care if I'm sitting there by myself. I'm going. But let me know if you want to take a trip up because I'd love to
I love to take
incorporate
the
the
kids.
kids.
The kids need to
Yeah.
go sit down. There ain't no goddamn words. Just feel it in your heart and soul.
No, I think what they're saying is there's going to be visuals as well. The way Game of Thrones did it was that there was a huge screen and they also had performers on the stage while the orchestra's playing. So there is a visual element for you to see. So it'll be very cool. I'm excited. I think imagine that energy in the space when you're listening to that score.
It'll bring back memories. Yeah, no, that was such a beautiful and not a word isn't iconic, but it was such a moment for all of us, especially for the kids. Like me painting JoJo's face and taking her to the movies, like it would be reminiscent. Reminiscent in a negative way. I watched May December on Netflix, which mirrors the real life relationship between Mary Kay Ladonau and Philly Falahu. It was starring Jillian Moore and Natalie Portman. Antoinette, do you remember being young and the big controversial moment happened where the 6th grade teacher slept with the young boy? He looked like an islander or like an indigenous. It was a white blonde hair, short haired white lady. You wasn't watching the news. You wasn't paying attention to news.
I was, but I remember like Bosnia. That was what stuck with me. It was so sad. Those images of Bosnia were awful.
Oh, that's what I remember. You remind me of my mom. Give your mom so much in that moment. I remember this of this woman's being everywhere. And because I was a young child, I didn't realize how fucked up it was. But this one was 36 years old. She slept with her 12-year-old student, got pregnant by him.
Oh my.
Went to jail, had the baby, got out on parole. She was forbidden from seeing him, but ended up linking up with him again while she was out on parole. Got pregnant by him again, had another baby, spent 7 years in prison, got out, then married him, and they had 2 children. And were together for afterwards, and were together for 10 years before they divorced. This is like it's not following their story completely, but it definitely is inspired by that account. But Antoinette, that's and I don't want to be gross, but this is what it's like. You've fallen in love with Sean.
No, I knew you were going to say that.
Me fall in love with Sean and having his child. As a young kid, I didn't get it. Anyway, disgusting.
That's horrible.
It's a really interesting movie. I was into it. I think it was well acted. It just brought me back to being a young girl, remembering how big this was. And I went down the rabbit hole of researching the kids and the way that they portrayed them in the movie, and seemingly in real life, they had a semi-normal upbringing. I don't even know, child. But it also shows the underbelly and how stunted and how fucked up she was and how she fucked him up. Anyway, if y'all want to watch something weird, disturbing, it's a good one. May December on Netflix, child. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that, Shakti. All right, moving right along to politics as usual. Wow. All right, I'm gonna put a trigger warning at the top of this. All right, this next story deals with miscarriage. All right, I saw this on Ben Crump's page. For those of you that don't know, that is the attorney, civil rights attorney, who is doing the Lord's work here in America. He was the attorney for the family of George Floyd, among many other cases. Brittany Watts, excuse me. God, I can't read. Brittany Watts is a 33-year-old woman in Warren, Ohio. Warren, Ohio is a small town. Population of 39,000 by the 2022 census. But she went to the hospital twice concerning her unborn baby. She was informed that she was miscarrying and that her baby was not viable. She was then presumably sent home to miscarry, like many women are, and the fetus was only 22 weeks. She miscarried in the toilet, and then she flushed the toilet, and the remains clogged up her pipes. A forensic pathologist testified that an autopsy found that the fetus was not injured and that it had died before passing through the birth canal. Okay, so this woman miscarried, and as women miscarry, oftentimes this happens in the toilet or on the toilet, and the fetus then, or the fetus, or the language here is tricky. Some people are saying fetus, some people are saying the body, the remains, are dropped in the toilet. Watts was then arrested, okay, and fucking faces a single charge of abuse of a corpse. Okay, the assistant prosecutor, devil, Louis Gurneri, said that the police investigation found that Watts miscarried the baby while using the restroom and tried to plunge and flush the remains down the toilet, where it got stuck in the pipes.
Oh my God.
He also said that the toilet had to be removed by the police and taken to the county coroner's office, and then corroborated the fetus was about 22 weeks old. This happened in September. We're just finding out about it now because of the charges. He argued in favor of having the case move forward, where the judge, the Warren Municipal Court Judge Terry Ivanchuk, agreed, determining that there was probable cause for the case to be bound over to the grand jury. The prosecutor said that the state did not have to prove viability, citing a section of the Ohio Revised Code 2927.01 that reads, "No person, except as authorized by law, shall treat a human corpse in a way that would outrage reasonable community sensibilities." Okay? The defense attorney who was representing Ms. Watts during the preliminary hearing said that her client suffered a tragic and dangerous miscarriage that jeopardized her own life. And rather than focusing on healing physically and emotionally, she was arrested and charged with a felony and is fighting for her freedom and her reputation. Ms. Watts learned days before this that a miscarriage was inevitable and that the fetus could not survive outside the womb due to, how do you say this? I don't know how to say this. Basically, her water
gestational age.
Thank you, gestational age. I looked that up, and it's like her water had broken before it was time for the baby to actually, before time. Mm-hmm. And then so this was going to happen, period. And the fetus died in utero. She had been to 2 doctor's appointments. We have to keep that in mind. This was a baby she wanted. It wasn't like she was neglecting the baby. She was trying to abort the baby. She miscarried. Okay? About 1 in 4 pregnancies end in miscarriage in the first trimester, and 1 in 5 in the second, according to the March of Dimes. Most miscarriages happen at home. Where? On the fucking toilet. Because you feel pain and you go and you sit on the toilet. I was with a woman who miscarried on the toilet. I was there for it. It's horrible. It's horrible to see. This led to many women taking to social media to recount their home miscarriages. One woman said, "Yes, I had a miscarriage. The 9-week-old fetus had died. They sent me home to miscarry because I didn't have any insurance." Another woman said, "I also had a miscarriage on the toilet and flushed it many years ago. And I'm sure many women have done the same because this is the same. This is a total miscarriage of justice." Another woman says, "Same. Happened to me at the end of 2020, and I took my son to school like nothing happened. Sad face." I'm gonna calm down because this makes me so upset. So I'm gonna let you go. But what are your thoughts on this? when you hear this story.
First of all, I'm just so curious of who called the cops on her, like who alerted the authorities about this.
That's a great question. Maybe the
plumber.
The plumber. Who
feeling
knows?
like this was something went awry. It was like
or she tried to abort the baby or something. Yeah. I would be remiss if I didn't say that she is a Black woman. Mm-hmm. And all these men are white men. Mm. Okay. Except for the fucking mayor of the town, who is Black. But continue.
It feels like such a failing for this mother in so many ways. One, that there's something that is hard for me to imagine, and that feels so unceremonial, so just unceremonial, so primitive in a way, that there are not better systems and procedures and offerings, both medically and just like traditionally, that can be passed down or offered to women to go through something that is so very, very lonely and so very, very out of your control on so many levels. Like, you do not know whether you wanted the baby or not, how you're going to respond to the loss of a baby, and to have that happen, to normalize it in a toilet feels sad to me, and also to demonize it as well, because like how is it the responsibility to have a woman who just lost her baby then be responsible for taking care of the remains of it? You know, like, some people can't manage that. Some people do not want to see it. And it feels like there's no lack of community or no lack of ritual. There's no lack of support whatsoever to help women through this medical procedure, which I feel is also deeply, deeply emotional and spiritual. So in this particular instance, that's ridiculous that she is being imprisoned for this. And it's equally ridiculous to me that so many women are by themselves alone, having miscarriages in the toilet and having to flush it down the toilet. Like, what?
Right.
What the fuck are you actually talking about?
The majority of women who miscarry, that's what it is.
What do they know to do? What are you supposed to do?
But that's the point. There's no resources or guidance.
No.
From any health professional. They just send you home.
But what do they want her to do? To wrap the baby up and bury it outside?
Here's the deal. There is no law. There is no law in Ohio that states what a woman should do if she miscarries.
I hate it here.
There's no law.
This hollow, empty, hateful space we're in. God damn it.
It's all punitive, and it's all reflective of, one, that these people that are writing these laws have no understanding of women's reproductive systems or women's realities, just like you said. I'm frustrated that there are not better systems in place for women who miscarry. And I'm equally as frustrated because I don't know if this case sees the light of day if this young woman is not a Black woman in this small Ohio fucking town. I cannot imagine wanting to have a baby and miscarrying and having to deal with that. And miscarrying is not necessarily a quick process for everyone. And sometimes what I have heard people, and even what she described it, she just heard like this plop and felt this plop in the toilet. And it's not a fucking kid, y'all. It's like, it's
membrane
like it's like, imagine your period times like 20. Mm-hmm. It's like, it's not like, I think these men think that there's like a baby in the toilet. Mm-hmm. And they're idiots for that. I think something came up for me where I was reading about this and listening to people talk about it, and it's not getting the national coverage that it deserves yet. But this is where voting becomes very clear to me. This is where I'm like, Republicans are abhorrent, they are evil, and they should be disqualified from any type of leadership in this fucking country. If these are the laws and that they are going to uphold and stand behind, they have showed us very clearly who the fuck they are, whether it's policies on education, women's autonomy, financial entitlements. We can get into that. Social Security and Medicare. Nikki Haley's coming for that. Voting rights, LGBTQIA folks, all of it. They are in direct opposition with what my values are, and my values are deeply rooted in my fundamental freedoms. And I know that we get on this podcast and we criticize the Democratic Party, as we should, and I will not stop. But I think at this point, if I have not made it abundantly clear, I want to make it abundantly clear right now that while the Democratic Party is severely flawed, to sit here and say that there is no difference between Democrats and Republicans, in my opinion, is just intellectually dishonest and irresponsible at this point. And it's like, we are facing choices that we do not like. They are not good choices, but they should not be difficult choices either. We talk about the lesser of two evils, and I get it. But when you paint this picture for me, it becomes incredibly clear about where my values lie. And not all of my values are going to be upheld in any party. I don't even consider myself really a Democrat. But if that's who I'm going to vote for, which I will say right now, that is the party that I will vote for because of this type of domestic bullshit that we're dealing with, that's what it is. Because there is no policy yet that anybody has brought to me where they are frustrated with the Democratic Party that I believe the Republican Party will do better. We are in this mess due to Republicans. This has been on their agenda for fucking years. We are in many messes due to Trump. I mean, this is Trump's Supreme Court that had that Dobbs decision. So yes, geopolitically, we are fucktards and assholes, and we have to hold the Democrats' feet to the fire, and we are the villains. When it comes to domestic policy, it couldn't be more clear. Brittany Watts deserves better policy. Brittany Watts deserves to be able to grieve the loss of her child without being vilified, brought up on charges, and fighting for her fucking freedom. And there is one party that wants to vilify her, and there's another that doesn't. That's it. I want to encourage people to blow up the fucking mayor's phone. William D. Franklin, he's the mayor of Warren, and he happens to be Black. His phone number is 330-841-2601. That's 330-841-2601.
I will also say this is a good opportunity for midwives, doulas,
yes,
a lot of women that have ancient wisdom about birthing and all of the complexity and processes that it holds to find these folks in the community. And many of them, not everybody has, especially when you talking about when you're pregnant and hoping to give birth, has the money to afford a doula. But a lot of women that are midwives and doula offer and are often, their feet is in the community and are willing to share information. There's tons of resources around holistically caring for women beyond just medical procedure, beyond just policy, but just like a deep understanding of what it is to have a womb. And they are they are definitely out in your community. So just finding those folks, even if it's TikTok, fucking Instagram, are a wealth of knowledge to help with these kind of terrible, terrible things. And that just made me think of like breastfeeding, birthing. But if I don't have any resources for myself of like what do I do for my body? What happens if I were to miscarry? How to pass that on to my daughter? And this is ancient wisdom stuff. So yeah, that just sparked something as well.
Thank you. Can you check your phone for me?
I saw that.
Okay. Go ahead. Next up.
Just today, Secretary General of the UN Chief Antonio Guterres of Lisbon, Portugal, has invoked what is widely considered to be the most powerful diplomatic tool at his disposal. It's like his version of hitting the panic button. He has invoked Article 99 of the UN Charter, which basically forces the Secretary General, the Security Council to sit down and have a meeting around what's happening in Gaza.
It's the first time it was ever invoked in history.
This, in his opinion, is a matter of threatening the maintenance of international peace and security. And in the letter, Guterres calls for the Security Council to press and avert a humanitarian catastrophe, and appeals for a humanitarian ceasefire to be declared in Gaza. And this is really, really big. This is what he could do, what power he had. This is what he wielded, and shout out to him. Just to be clear, after the 3-day ceasefire during the holidays, it has continued. Israel is now going into the north of Gaza as well. At least 15,889 Palestinians have been killed since October 7th. 6,500 are missing and assumed to be under the rubble, over half of that number being women and children. 42,000 have been injured, and they cannot be cared for because 60% of Gaza housing, churches, hospitals, homes have been damaged or completely destroyed. 80% of the population has been displaced, and now they are moving into areas where they told them to go into, and like there's nowhere for them
Southern Gaza
to go. There's nowhere for them to go. Margaret Harris of the World Health Organization said, "Eventually, we will see more people dying from disease than we have been seeing from the bombardment if we are not able to put back together the health system, provide food, water, medicine, and fuel to operate the hospitals." In addition to just basic health and medical care, the people of Gaza are now at risk of famine and starvation, being as though there is no aid being allowed. There's no food. They're waiting hours to get half of what, of a bread ration. 1,200 Israelis have been killed since October 7th, with 132 hostages remaining in Gaza held by Hamas. So with those stats, I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it. And the videos that are still being shared, the lifeless, I'm seeing a lot more just lifeless children, before they were like injured, but babies and 7-year-olds just completely gone. It's just fucking me up. But I implore everyone to keep talking about it, to keep sharing the information.
Put fucking pressure on your elected officials.
Keep calling.
I call Chuck Schumer and fucking Hakeem Jeffries.
Keep what's the word? Keep divesting. Keep it up. Keep it up. We are witnessing a genocide. We are witnessing a monumental moment in history. And this is
inconsequential.
It's just unbelievable. Because anyway, we can't go into it, but this is in no way, this is a snowball effect for not only Palestinians, but now Israeli, which is now putting Jewish people
at risk.
In danger.
Yeah.
In danger. Mm-hmm. So it's just basic. I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
If people have more insight into how we can get ourselves organized and divest and put pressure on elected officials, please help us, because we do not have all the answers. Please call us, please email, please help. We cannot deep dive into these things, but I would be remiss not to mention somehow Joseph Robinette. I don't know how the fuck he's doing this, because the Supreme Court came down on his hallmark like student loan forgiveness program, but he just forgave another almost $5 billion in federal student loan debt. And so that brings the total amount of student debt relief under this administration to $132 billion, benefiting over 3.6 million borrowers. So it is something. Nikki Haley, as I mentioned, she is the second in line to Trump for the Republican Party nominee for presidency. She wants to come for our entitlements, and I say that in quotations. They love to use that word, but entitlements is our Social Security and Medicare, despite the fact that we fucking pay into this shit while we're working. This is...
What the fuck?
Oh, yeah, this has been on the table, but Republicans realize that every time they bring this up, she's not the only one who wants to do it because of the budget. But every time they bring this up, they lose more seats in the House. Like, it's not a winning argument. Americans are not for this. Well, educated Americans, I will say, and Americans that are critical thinkers and understand that they're not voting in their interest. Anyway, so Republicans are worried about that, but guess what? Corporations, however, are flooding her with dollars in support after she has came out.
Why? I don't understand that correlation.
Well, they don't have to. I mean, somehow the correlation, and forgive me, I don't understand how this completely works, but they help pay for it in the end, due to like if you're working, like we pay into like Social Security and stuff within our taxes, but somehow like within corporate dollars, I don't know how it all funnels
to pay, like,
in.
Employee tax or something.
Exactly.
Like that. Okay.
I'm sure that they have to pay some sort of tax to help make it happen. And then Trump literally said in a recent interview with Sean Hannity, in his own words, that if he wins the next election, he will only be a dictator for the first day. Sean Hannity was laying up. This was an easy layup for Trump. And he was like, but these people saying that you're going to use your power to punish your political adversaries, you wouldn't do that. And he's like, no, only the first day. I'd do it the first day, and then I'd also do it to close the border. And everybody fucking cheered. And Trump is still the front runner. There's a Republican national debate tonight. He refuses to show up. And the more he refuses to show up, the less in the news he is, the more people forget how fucking disgusting and dangerous he is. And, he just keeps fueling his base, because his base are the people that are going to clap. So here we are. We also have, I would be remiss not to say, that Liz Cheney is thinking about entering the race. Liz Cheney was one of the Republicans who was not reelected due to her being on the committee that helped to investigate Trump. She was very outspoken against Trump. I do not agree with almost any of Liz Cheney's policies at all. The one thing, though, is that she came out against Trump. She's thinking about running, and most people are like, well, that's a bad idea. If you run, Liz, you'll only take votes from Biden and help Trump, because nobody who's going to vote for Trump will ever vote for Liz Cheney. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to take any of his votes away.
Politics as usual. Wow.
So here we are. Can't get into it, but I hope you research yourselves. All right, let's lighten it up. Let's take a beat. I got a little angry there. I need to take a beat. And I'm drinking a little bit. I'm having
Oh.
a hot cider
Oh,
with
that
a
sounds
little
so
whiskey, and it's so
nice.
good going down
I've
my
been
gullet.
drinking. I've been drinking.
All right. Pop culture. Here we go. Here we go. Do you know this lady, Amy Robach and TJ Holmes? You remember them?
I don't know nothing about them, but I remember what had happened.
Okay. Same. All right. So they are ready to share their real story behind the headlines. I don't know if y'all remember this, but these two got caught going together. They had a little affair. They were co-anchors at, what was the show? Good Morning America 3 or something like that.
Somebody gonna be mad at us for saying that. What's the name?
It's tricky. Look that up for me, baby girl. But anyway, they have an iHeartRadio podcast, and they were fired from their show based off of their big affair, because they got caught without telling us first. And though Amy, she described their past year as hell, and added that in the end, all of us.
ABC News morning show. I apologize.
Thank you. In the end, but which ABC News morning show? That's not the name of it.
ABC News morning show?
I don't think so.
That's what it said.
No, that's the name of it? Okay.
They're also from the ABC News morning show. Good Morning America.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm like, I don't think that's the name of it, baby girl.
Look at them. They love each other. He loves that white woman.
We gonna get into it. Listen, she said in the end, all of us are always rooting for love. And it doesn't always happen when you want it to happen. And it's undeniable when it's real and it's something you have to navigate. And it's not easy. Mm-hmm. They also denied that they had cheated on their former spouses, stating that they were both in the middle of divorces when photos of them together first surfaced. And then they said, we shouldn't have allowed, I can say that in hindsight, for folks to find out about our relationship before they found out about our divorces. Mm-hmm. If people would have heard earlier that they're in a relationship and now they're dating, maybe an eyebrow would have been raised or something, but it wouldn't have become what it became. Now, fast forward today, and their former spouses are dating. They just did a little swap.
I cannot.
That's we had a whole song. Remember Switch? I like your boyfriend. Right. So my question to you, Sheila, is, listen, is love even when it's messy?
I love it.
Is it?
Absolutely.
Should love only be celebrated if it looks like the neat fairy tale we tend to believe it to be?
Like that anyway.
Is this mess all too messy for it to be real? Talk to me, girl.
First of all, is love even when it's messy? Yes. Y'all ain't see Romeo and Juliet, West Side Story? Maria, I just met a girl named Maria.
You better sing.
That's my fucking
You singing the shit out that tritone. Tritone is not easy.
Suddenly I found tritone? Tritone?
Yeah, Maria.
Yes. Why ain't it?
Okay.
Why
Said
ain't
it with your chest.
I'm really, maybe this is my villain era. I really am off good and bad. I really don't believe in good or bad anymore. And I feel like I ain't even gonna say all that. Yeah, I just don't believe in it. I don't believe in the binary of good and bad. It doesn't exist. Just doesn't. I am happy for them. I'm sorry that they were embarrassed and outed. And now they can. It's just interesting how the mess gets then tied. Are you listening to me? Or
yes, I am. Uh-huh. I'm actually researching. You? I'm looking something up. Dead ass.
Now that it's tied up in a nice little neat bow. You know, somehow we always end up going back to the neat bow. They fucked up, was messy. Now they together and everything's okay. And their spouses are together, which I love that for them. I love the switch. I love it. I love that they're coming out with a podcast like, you thought we were going? Don't count the kids out. We back. And we making money off y'all.
Nah. I can't find it. I was looking up famous couples who cheated but it's only famous couple who cheated on each other. It's not showing me who cheated and stayed together.
Probably so many.
Probably so many, and many that we don't know about. You know what? I think old Antoinette would have been like, this is wrong, wrong, good and evil, bad, it's all bad, immoral. New Antoinette. I think I've entered. I don't even know if it's a villain era. I think it's just we grown. Shit be going down sometimes. And sometimes and also in this world where we are talking about polyamory and love looking differently, it is so possible to love the hell out of someone, or love, not the hell, that's not a good saying, but to love someone and to also love someone else or want to experience someone else. And how we navigate that is incredibly personal and difficult within society's lens. I know couples, not couples. I know a couple. This couple goals for me, and baby, was it messy? Ugh, it was messy in the beginning. There now, mess.
Wait, but that was picture perfect.
But now it is. I don't know if it, I mean, what they give us is picture perfect, sure, but it's honest. It's real. It's love. They love each other. They honor each other, and I also think they did the hard work of what was both in them. How do I say this? They did the hard work of confronting the things that made them dishonest. They did the hard work of being honest about cheating.
It's that
of
part.
Being honest about,
just being
hurting
dishonest.
Other people.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so without that level of honesty and accountability, you don't really get the integrity. Right. You don't see it on the other side. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes shit is messy. But
most times it is.
I also think
85% of the time it is.
It's also tricky with this couple because sis is white. Wow. And that black man leaving his black lady for this white girl.
She Indian.
Well, let's move on.
You think it's less tricky because she Indian?
No, I don't. I think that you think that. So that's why I don't even want to touch that.
What? You just said it's more tricky because she's white. Why? I don't understand.
Oh,
I don't get how race has anything to do with it, whether she's white, black, Indian.
Because people do not want to see a black man, a prominent black, Good Morning America, clean-cut man, leave his black, brown wife for that white lady. And if you are saying that didn't color some of this conversation, I think you are being a little bit
I didn't
naive.
think nothing of him. He looked like he's supposed to be with a white woman. He looked like it. And his wife, his Indian wife, got herself a white man. He do. I'm not in any. What's his name? John. What's his name? TJ. Stop playing with me.
Stop. See,
his wife.
And now we get into what black men's supposed to be in order to be.
I'm just saying, like you don't. I was not offended at all. And his Indian wife with a white man now.
Her white man.
Yeah.
I love that
over
for
there,
them.
Progressive as fuck.
I love.
Are you kidding me?
That's what I'm saying.
I got no qualms with them.
They said we have seen each other at the holiday parties, at the events. I'm grieving, you grieving. This is about care. Sometimes it's just simply about care, and they are all caring for each other. Shout out to them being radical and making it work. You talk about lemonade out of lemons. I love it here. Jonathan Majors, what a black man dealing with white women. Per ABC News, he's in trial, and his ex, I forget her name, but all I can see is the
black name, Jabari.
Jabari, yeah. All I can see is the image that you sent me of that damn bird.
Yo, when I saw her face, I was like, yo, she looked like the Jungle Book vulture.
It's so wrong. Anyway,
the fact that you posted that, I was crying.
Okay, so according to ABC News, Jabari says she was going to meet his dogs And Jonathan gave her specific instructions for behaving around the dogs. During the incident, she told Majors how an ex had a dog, and she said Majors became angry and raised his voice. Jabari told the jury, "It was the first time I felt scared of him." As she continued her testimony, she described a time in June 2022 when she went to a festival with poor cell phone reception, and Jonathan was not very nice about it. The jury also heard a recording of Major shouting at her, demanding that she behave like Coretta Scott. I'm sorry. I'm trying. But I knew you was going to cut up. Stop. Let me get through this.
Oh, God.
All right, ready?
Crazy.
The jury heard a recording of Major shouting at her, demanding she behave like Coretta Scott King or Michelle Obama. In the recording, Majors allegedly said, "I'm a great man. A great man. I do great things for my culture and for the world. The woman that supports me needs to be a great woman," he added. "2 nights ago, you did not do that, which took away from the plan." In addition, Jabari claimed that Majors would get upset with her and would threaten suicide.
That feels like an Atlanta episode to me. I wish Atlanta were still on so that they could do an episode of Jonathan Majors telling his white woman to be more like Coretta Scott King or Michelle Obama. Why he say that, Antoinette? She was like, "Okay. What the fuck? First of all, what did she say?" She was like, "Okay. I will."
Like, I'm not. Listen.
Oh, wait, I have a question for you, though.
No, please.
Did we think he was a great man who did great things for the culture? I'm really sitting back.
I did. I will say that Jonathan Majors, based off of his talent alone, I felt was rising absolutely to the cream of the crop, upper echelon, A-list Hollywood. Not Black Hollywood, A-list Hollywood.
Yeah. Word.
And
so
did
he lie then? He said, "I'm a great man. I'm carrying this culture on my motherfucking back. I need a black queen, Jabari."
We probably not saying her name right either. It's probably Jabari or some bullshit.
It is probably we call Jabari.
I know that girl named not Jabari. I know it's not. I know it's not. Not that European lady. Oh God. I don't care.
You don't care?
Well, guess what? That is how you get closer to Michelle and Coretta. Jabari. All right. Now listen here. It all sounds very it sounds manipulative and controlling. I don't know if it sounds
violent, like he's going to smack a bitch.
But also,
I'm sorry for saying that. Please forgive me. I lost myself.
Are you back?
Yeah, I apologize.
Okay, lost, and now she's found. Go ahead. You asked the questions here. I don't know what to say about this. I really don't.
Well, how much
more
of
information?
What? Did you?
What?
I don't. Similar to you, I do not think that it shows him being violent, but more of him having like an inflated ego. The fame is getting to his head now. I feel like that he's like, this is a plan. I feel like he was very invested in his image and his trajectory, and also was like unwell a little bit.
Yes, I think it's teetering, because it's like, I don't think there's any way that Beyonce and Jay-Z don't have a conversation around like, this is the brand, bro. Like, we got to protect the brand. And so before they probably even got married, it was like, you gotta make sense to the brand as well. I feel like there's probably many famous couples who have to do that. And especially if you are not also famous, where it's like, I need you to play your part. And if you at a festival acting up and carrying on now, I don't know what she did.
Her cell phone ain't work, bitch, I can't hear you. What?
No. He said 2 nights ago you did not do that. We don't know what she did or didn't do. I'm not making assumptions, and I'm not talking about them specifically. I'm just talking about the idea around a very famous, prominent person dating someone who is not, who then needs to maybe have a conversation with that person around what comes with dating me. Like if you or I ever blow up and get famous, God, I hope we just make some money and don't get famous, because don't nobody want that kind of burden. There would have to be a conversation if we dating somebody who might be cutting up.
Yo, nigga, tighten up. You know the fuck I am?
All right.
You gotta make sure your fucking cell phone works when we out together.
That's not what I'm saying.
And fucking, I gotta get to talk about another nigga's dog. That ain't my dog.
That's not what I'm saying. First of all, there's a ellipsis between those two conversations. There wasn't one stream of consciousness about the dog into the festival, but we need more information. All I know is Jonathan now. Let me tell you what. It makes more sense to me why he and Megan are together. Megan feels very amenable, especially after dating that pastor.
She crazy. Listen,
don't.
The first problem he had was not this Jabari wilding out and acting a fool. The first problem was that she was a white woman when he's wanting to have an image of Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama. Bro,
who can he have named? He should say Hillary. I need you to be Hillary.
Why would he say that to her?
Who could he have named? Who's some down ass white girl?
Be what's her name? Oh God,
Jessica
Hanks.
Biel.
No, yeah.
Jessica,
because she's a writer.
Shit, this whole time with Jessica cutting up. She was like, Doop. Brittany talking about all kinds of shit in her book. She said, Doop.
That's what he's. First of all, Majors, you crazy, you little delulu.
But I also think that's a ploy. I also think finding this audio and playing it is strategic on the prosecutor's part to constantly reiterate the idea of race.
Okay,
in this trial, and that this is a big black man and
wanted her to be an oppressed black woman,
and who wanted her to be an oppressed white woman. This big black man is dangerous, and he's egotistical, and he's a monster. I think that race is going to keep being brought up in this trial, and I don't know that it has anything to do with it. But for whatever reason, it's on the forefront of things because she has to be a white victim. She has to be.
Oh.
Period. Or I could be tripping. Or she is a white victim. We don't know. Need more information. Because white victims are real, too.
Mm.
There are white victims in the world.
That's the hottest take you've ever said.
There are white victims. We can't just say they're all white people. No white person is ever a victim of anything.
That's Dr. not Umar. Real. I wonder what he would say.
Dr. Umar, it wouldn't work. Dr. Umar, fuck Dr. Umar. You heard his take on Israel and Palestine? That ain't none of his business. Fuck
a lot of black
here.
People feel that way.
That don't excuse it. Shout out to Mark Lamont Hill doing the Lord's work.
Apparently Beyonce don't care about it either, though.
See, here you go. Here the fuck you go. And I knew to put this one here because it was going to piss me off. So go ahead. I'll let you take it.
This woman, Angelica Jade Bastion, has got the internet in an uproar. She shared on Vulture a critique of Beyonce's film Renaissance. Angelica is a film and pop culture critic, so she did what she does. In it, she says, like the album and tour, which is that what I had there?
No, it's the same thing. Go ahead. You could just Renaissance means the new beginning. You see it?
From the start, Beyonce preaches her desire to create a safe space. Renaissance means a new beginning, she says. It's a bomb after all we've been through in the world. But what exactly is she referring to? The onslaught of death and illness brought on by the continuing pandemic? The laws aimed at criminalizing trans children and adults? The rising misogyny, homophobia, and anti Blackness that leads to grave violence, the various ongoing genocides. Beyonce gives us no context for what she's referring to or how it touches the shores of a life dominated and driven by the kind of wealth that insulates her from harm. Her words reflect broadly liberal pablum, meant to give the appearance of care and mean just enough that her fans can project radicalness upon her, but not so much that she could ruffle anyone enough for not so much that she could ruffle anyone enough for her to lose money or be forced to stand for something.
Read the next one.
From this vantage point, fake intimacy is a currency she utilizes to give the appearance of revelation, even if she actually remains as closed as a fist. Oh, that's a bar right there. Oh my God, why would she say that? Beyonce positions herself not as a goddess bestowing a peak of humanity to her loyal subjects, but as a relatable figure we can share and should connect with. But if you have cameras on you all the time, even when you're supposed to be off, when do you take down the performative mask? It isn't even when she has knee surgery, a moment carefully documented on camera. For Beyonce, a woman known to film her every move and house it in a temperature-controlled archive, everything is performance, and each performance is merely a means of brand extension. I ain't see the movie, so I have very little, to really say. You saw it.
Mm-hmm.
But my questions, I guess, are: does Beyonce bait us with radicalism? Does her Blackness and womanhood make us want something different from her? Use of wealth and power? A lot of people are saying you ain't asking all these other people that have wealth and power to do this. Why is Beyonce expected to do it? And what does Beyonce owe us, if anything, aside from top-notch entertainment? What say you?
I saw the movie. I love the movie. I found this article to be hypercritical. Surprise, surprise. I think that we are asking more of Beyonce than we do our own political leaders. And to me, that's weird. It's strange. Obviously, you and I have talked about Beyonce being a corporate capitalist brand giant, period. Like, she is that. Beyonce is, I think, in this film attempting to humanize herself and to release some of the need to be perfect and to be looked at as a robot. If you see the film, she talks about that very specifically, about how this tour was not about perfection. It was about freedom. And she celebrated that a lot. This tour, whether it's based off of her just having knee surgery or her being older, the way that this woman pointed out so uneloquently in that part of the article, and basically said that it was a cover-up. Her talking about her attempt to be vulnerable with us was just a cover-up for the fact that she could no longer do the things that she used to do. Her attempt to be less perfect was a cover-up for the fact that she can't dance as much. Her attempt to focus more on her voice and to open the show with the ballads that she did was all because she's not who she once was. Mm-hmm. And I think that's weird. And I think that in reading this, while there's some truth to it, Beyonce is a brand. It is a very controlled narrative that you're going to get from her. I think that there's some jealousy around the fact that she's able to control the narrative in the way that she does. Jealousy? So successfully. Yeah.
By absolutely. The writer.
by the writer and by the people who, by a lot of us, I think.
Yeah.
I think that we wish that we were in that much control
Yeah.
of our lives. And I think that we think that it's control.
Or we want
I
to
think
see
that
the
it's
messy parts. We want to see the
we
messy
want to see the
parts.
messy parts because somehow that makes us feel better. And I think we've seen some messy parts of her life, but the fact that we see it and it's gone is frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
I think that people are annoyed by that. And if that's you, that's on you.
Yeah.
You know, I think that we look at her and we think that she's hella free, but she lives in a fucking jail. If I had to record myself constantly and keep all the recordings in a controlled temperature space, she said she started doing that because people were misquoting her on interviews. So she started to record all of her interviews. So she would always have footage to back up the fact that she didn't say whatever the fuck it was that they were saying. Mm-hmm. If I had to go about living my life like that, what we also have to realize is she just gave us a world tour and gave us a movie almost directly afterwards, which means while she's on tour, she's editing this film. She's looking at cuts. She's making decisions on the film. There's no way you get that film done in this kind of turnaround time without her having to do that. That is hard. And I don't know if that's freedom. Yes, she has access. Yes, she's wildly rich. And yes, being a billionaire is violent. But the two things can exist at once, I believe. I'm never going to say...
What's the other thing?
The fact that she's still a human. And some of this shit is not freedom. Mm-hmm. I think that I don't see Beyonce as apolitical the way that the article cited her as. I don't see her as that. I don't see her as someone who takes a very specific stand on things. I think that she's very subtle with her support. I think both political support and emotional support. I mean, we know on a micro level what Beyonce has done for Jasmine. We know that when Jazz was down and out and not singing, Beyonce called her backstage and talked to her about that and said, you have to get back to this. We know that when Jazz's mother passed, Beyonce was there to support her in ways. Like, these are things that this woman does, not for the masses, but because she's just, I think, a good person trying to remain human. And I think this article doesn't give her that space. This article only treats her as a brand, only treats her as a product. And I think that's deeply unfair, especially if you see the film, because the whole goal of the film is to show her as a human. There's plenty of and it's not as contrived as Life is But a Dream, how that just didn't feel super authentic. This feels much more authentic. This feels much more like you're just watching a documentary. And then I think that we're making a lot of assumptions. I think also, I find it strange that to say that she uses Black liberation aesthetics as if she herself is not a Black woman just doesn't sit right with me. It's like, I could see that about Fergie, or I could see that about, I don't know, fucking whatever other artist. But Beyonce is a Black woman. So when we're talking about her using Black liberation aesthetics, it's like there's so many statements that she is making. She made a statement with Homecoming. She made a statement with her Super Bowl performance. No, it didn't say verbatim or very blatantly. She's not Nina Simone. She's just not that person. I don't think she's going to be where she's shouting from the rooftops a very specific message. Her messaging is in her music, it's in her performance, and it's much more subtle than that. And her message, I think, does get conversations going. But we don't say that about Kendrick, who also has that imagery in his work. We don't say that about Erica. We don't say that about many other artists.
Say what? What that
they're using Black liberation aesthetics to make money. That's all over. That's Kendrick specifically. It's ingrained in his art. He talks about it. You see it. I don't see Kendrick on the front lines of any kind of rally for Palestinians. I don't see, like, so why do we expect that from Beyonce? I also, this this idea around Israel, her film premiering in Israel. I can understand that, but I need people to understand she does not control where the film premieres. She signed a contract with AMC. This happened on October 7th. This deal was done before then. AMC decides where this film is going to be premiered. Mm-hmm. Okay, so she would need to be so buttoned up on why this film should not be shown in Israel and be able to properly explain that rationale.
I don't think she performed in Israel, though.
There's numerous places where she's gotten backlash around performing. She was supposed to do, I forget what place it was. She was supposed to do some shows. It might have been Israel. She was supposed to do some shows there, and she never went back and did them. But either way, we're asking her, if we were to ask her to come out with a statement and say, this is why I don't want this film being shown here, and make it concise and make it make sense, that, again, that's something that almost no one's able to do right now. Like, our political leaders are not able to properly explain their feelings on the crisis and the genocide that is existing over there without making it muddy. And so, like, what the fuck? Taylor Swift's movie premiered over there. I didn't hear shit. I also don't follow Taylor Swift, so maybe she did get backlash. I don't know. I think that the way that she highlighted, like, the crew, the band, the dancers, the background singers in the film, and to say that she did that, and the article says that she did that to avoid being vulnerable, it's just weird. The entire theme of Renaissance is like this collective rebirth and a celebration of community, of a community where authenticity is celebrated. So she's celebrating that community, and we're still mad. We're saying, oh, you just didn't want to be vulnerable with us. What the fuck do you want? She cries in the film.
Yeah, I think that she wants her to be messy. She wants her to be messy. I don't know.
Can I just read this? When Beyonce uses their aesthetic alongside, she means Black liberation aesthetic. When Beyonce uses Black liberation aesthetic along with the words of Malcolm X, it behooves audiences and critics alike to hold her to a greater standard. Her politicism should not slide by. Black musical traditions may have the Black musical traditions may have the potential for radicalism, but Beyonce's neutrality demonstrates they aren't inherently that way. More than anything, Renaissance is a testament that Beyonce is a brand that stands for absolutely nothing beyond its own greatness. Give me a fucking break. Like, this writer she can write. I'll give her that. But if you walked away from that film saying that Beyonce's brand stands for absolutely nothing beyond its own greatness, it's something wrong with you. That's just how I feel. I left that film feeling so inspired. I left that film feeling seen. I left that film feeling celebrated. I left that concert feeling celebrated. I don't know that Beyonce has to announce what all of the rebirth is for. I don't know if she has to be specific, because guess what? It's different for everybody. Some people are down from COVID. Some people are down from the loss of family members. Some people are down from the LGBTQIA community being under attack. Some people are down from Israel and Palestine. Some people are down from Ukraine. So the world is on fire, and collectively she's acknowledging in that and saying, now's the time for us to come together and just fucking be and celebrate the humanity that still exists, and we have to see it in order to get through this. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Sorry. Don't get me talking about Beyonce. I shouldn't. I'm mad. I saw the, like, what? That's what you got from it? Weirdo? What's her name?
I don't think that something she said was wrong, though. Maybe I
don't think all of it is wrong.
I do think that there's something very absurd about Beyonce as well, but two things can exist at the same time, and
you have to see the film.
Even if I see the film, I know Beyonce. We know Beyonce. I'm always inspired. I'm always I love Beyonce, but I also know that she's it's absurd. It's absurd. And I don't know that I don't know. I do think that there's something about the radical, quote unquote, aesthetic that, again, what are we projecting onto her that we ourselves are also like.
Can you give me an example of the radical aesthetic so that I'm clear?
The fist in the air, the reference to Malcolm X quotes, the Oshun and all the whole Lemonade was like her intro into like, oh, we about this shit. The Dawn of the Dust references, just her deeply representing and is it Dawn of the Dust? Daughters of the Dust, child. Dawn of the Dust is like a goddamn.
I didn't know what you were talking about, but I was gonna let you keep.
That's a horror movie.
I
apologize.
You saw me get confused, but I was like,
just referencing so many like great Black artists, thinkers, writers, cinema, photography, everything Black. Beyonce was
woman,
like,
yeah, as a Black woman, that's crazy that she did that.
I think. But I her being on top of the police thing, her talking about these radical, referencing these radical things, but being a Black billionaire, right? Like what is liberation for Black people?
That I get.
Looking good, looking cool, us raising, Black and I'm proud, or is it like this?
Liberation for Black people to her is that financial wealth. And I think that's where we have the conversation that we disagree, right? I think it is that opulence, luxury, or the freedom to be able to pursue that if that's what you want. I don't think she sees that as inherently violent towards any community, right? That conversation I'm willing to have. This other shit about her co-opting
She
Black
and Jay-Z represent so much this aspiration, and what are we all aspiring to? She is perfection in a lot of ways. She is
but she's literally pushing back against
she's not that. But she also is like not. She is. Like the way that it's being shown, I'm not perfect in the most perfect way possible, which I see where people get frustrated, but I think it's not about Beyonce. Is what you're saying is what are you projecting onto her? What is it that in yourself, in your need for connection, in your need for relatability, in your
why do you need it?
Why do we need to see her not show up in the most perfect way or control her narrative? I don't know. It's something that I'll be unraveling for the rest of my life. I think maybe
answer that real fast when you said that. For me, I think that people discard I think that people not discard. They discount your experience if struggle. Many people, if struggle, especially Black folks, if struggle is not deeply associated with it, then you don't know. Then you don't get it.
And I don't feel that way for her. Struggle is not what I want to see from her.
No, struggle's not what I want to see. But I'm saying that, and it's not just about Beyonce. I'm saying that in conversation with people, and I've even been guilty of it, that I can be dismissive of a certain group of people if I don't think that there's any struggle associated with, that they've experienced any struggle, because I just don't think that they get it. And it's like, well, you're not really X, Y, and Z. You can't really be that down. You can't really be about liberate. You don't even know what we're trying to liberate because you never experienced it. You don't know what it is to really be Black. And it's interesting.
I'm excited to see the movie. I'm going to see it. And
can't wait to hear your thoughts.
Shout out to what's her name? Got the people going. What's her name?
I can't wait to hear Crystal talk about this, because she tweeted it and said she was going to be discussing it. I want to hear her take, because I was with Crystal in the movie theater and the girl was weeping. When I say in the first 5 minutes she was crying, we were like, she was crying that whole movie. I was like, Crystal, are you okay? It was so funny and sweet. But she got her life in there. Last but not least, this is a long episode. Merry Christmas. Diddy, child. Diddy has a statement. Diddy came out with a statement, y'all. And the motherfucking thing started with, enough is enough. Yo, I give that a 0 out of 10 apology rating. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me, but by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. Sean Diddy Combs. Now, this is strange to me because in the other statement he released about Cassie, he said he wished Cassie nothing but the best, signed it love, right? And that they thought it would be best for them to settle this amicably. He didn't say all this other stuff. And I think it's very interesting that this comes out on the heels of him being accused of sex trafficking and sexually assaulting a young woman who was underage at the time. 17 years old. Pictures came out of her in somewhere. Looked like in a studio with him, whatever. Him and 2 other men. And then finally a statement comes out. I don't think that statement was written by a lawyer. There are some commas missing. And it is all in capital letters. And I don't know that a lawyer would have started with enough is enough. But here we are. This woman has chosen to remain, keep her identities a secret. She said the assault occurred in 2003 when she was 17 years old. Listen, I think it's very telling that not a Mary J. Blige, not a Misa, nobody in his camp, not a fucking Lil Kim, Total and them, nobody came out and was like, I just can't believe any of these allegations. Nobody did that.
Nobody defended him.
He got the comments off on the posts, pissing me off. Ain't nobody defending you, Diddy, and nobody believes you. And everybody's retweeting this with the R. Kelly interview with Gayle King, where remember when he was hooting and hollering and saying that he was innocent too?
What did he say? What did he say?
I don't remember.
Kill me. R. Kelly crazy.
But to come out with enough is enough, Diddy, I think the underage thing is the thing that got him. I think he knows that's not something he's going to be able to sweep under the rug with his brand deals, with his business deals. That's some shit. Once you start messing with kids and that come out, you could pay it off to go away, but people don't want to fuck with you the same way. And I think he knows that. And now, he's doing this thing. Fuck with
Diddy after all this? Yeah.
A lot of people, he got a lot of likes on that post. And I damn sure clicked it to see what motherfuckers was liking it. See if I am friends or follow any of them. He got a lot of likes on it. Let me look. I saw Key Wayne was one of them. That producer. It's a producer. But I don't know. Do you have any further thoughts on this? And it's the same lawyers that oh, interesting. I'm gonna text you who else liked it. Mr. I Love Black Women. I'm gonna say it. The chief creative of Crown Magazine liked it. I wonder why he liked that post. I wonder what he liked about it. I said it. I don't give a fuck no more. Anyway, yeah, Diddy right now, well, he only got 92,000 likes on it. Whatever. This world's going to hell in a handbag. Lastly, Jason Lee is weird to me.
He been
I
weird,
have
child.
tried to hold space for him because he's friends with some of my friends. I don't get it. I don't get why he's shady the way he is. I hear he's very nice. But he went on a Breakfast Club and said some weird shit about Jennifer Hudson and just offered that she's illiterate. And it just felt weird. And I feel like maybe I've done some dumb shit like that in the past where I thought it was going to be like a haha joke. And I would like to be held accountable if I ever do that again. Please don't let me just go in here saying stupid stuff like that just for a joke, because it's not funny. It was just weird. It came out of nowhere. It didn't land. Maybe it was just poorly timed, but I loved how Jennifer Hudson didn't even address it. She just posted a picture of her Grammy, Emmy, Tony, and Oscar and just looked down at them. And it made me question, like, does one clap back or do we always take the high road? Like, what things deserve a clap back and what things don't?
That deserved the high road.
That deserved the high road. But what deserves a clap back then? When do you say, you know what? You got me fucked up.
I think when it's, I don't know. You asked the wrong one. Yeah, stop.
This motherfucker.
You asked the wrong one. I don't know. Get your kids involved. You coming after like somebody that can't really protect themselves in a way.
Okay.
Probably.
Kids.
At least for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to think about it because I think a lot more things deserve clapbacks that maybe don't. And I'm just watching people, how they move, how they navigate, and I'm trying to learn as, we get more visibility, as I get more visibility of like, okay, even the Jason Lee thing, like I'm just examining like what fucked up stupid jokes have you said?
I know, right?
That,
I probably said so many things. I apologize.
Right. Like what's going to come back to bite you in the butt that you said on this podcast years ago?
So much.
As
everything.
We grow, right.
I'm
as we
already.
But you're not though, because somehow when you say things, they're not. No, there's a way that you do it that it's not an attack. You're a master at it, but I don't know. It's something for all of us to think about. We can leave on this note, but it's something for all of us to think about of like how we navigate these spaces and how we try to make things interesting and make them funny. Like,
He said she was illiterate?
Yeah, he was like, we all know Jennifer Hudson's illiterate. And then like, it was just this weird aside thing. But I also think it was just weird. But I find him to be strange, period. I don't understand how he navigates that celebrity world where he gets away with like saying some of the things he says about certain celebrities, but also like interviewing them. It's just, I can't wrap my head around the guy. He's mastered it though. He's figured it out. But to me, he's so shady in a lot of ways and problematic, but people trust him. Like Rihanna gave him the images of her kids because she wanted it to go to a Black publication first. And like, it's just, I don't know enough about him, but what I see on this Hollywood Unlocked just feels low vibrational.
Oh,
remember them low vibrational plates? It's like that fucked up plate that it's not nourishing.
No greens.
Yeah. But are we nourishing? I think we're a little more nourishing. We're not fully nourishing.
Not fully.
No. We like
Chipotle. We got a little salad on there.
We like Chipotle a little bit.
We like Chipotle. I would say we are Chipotle of the podcast. We ain't Sweet Greens.
No, we not sweet. I want to be Sweet Greens. I might even want to get us the dig in. They got the mac and cheese, but they also got the Brussels.
I don't think I'm capable of it.
All right. Well, Chipotle it is. Shout out to Chipotle if you would like to advertise with us. Upset. You see?
Said, damn it.
They only got one salad on that menu. And that salad dressing is
But it's pretty good ingredients. It's still fast, you know what I mean? Still fast food. It's still
And sometimes
economical,
it's a little
affordable.
E. coli in your food.
Sometimes
Sometimes they
get
gotta
a
shut
little
down.
ink. A little
Sometimes you get a little misinformation with your meal, but you're fed. All right, this podcast is over. I love you.
I love you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh my God.
Why was that long?
Because of my fucking politics rant. Also, we was talking. You was talking in the beginning. Your updates were 10 minutes, and I think my updates were 10 minutes. That was 20 minutes right there. Our updates need to be quicker now. People ain't that invested in our damn lives. Talking all this shit. Sorry. You don't even have an update for the next episode. I just scroll. Do you have an update, girl?
It'll be short and sweet, girl.
All right, hold on. Let me get these voicemails. I think somebody called while we were talking. Okay, shit. No, I'm not playing that. I already know who that is. They just be yapping.
What's HRY mean?
Excuse me?
What does HRY mean?
HRY meaning hurry? What? No. How are you? That's dumb. That's so annoying. Who wrote you that? Don't respond. They have to type that out, Shanti. If it's a man, that ain't it. How are you? HRY? You responded? This job. Look at Beyonce reposting people. I love her. Now that's classy. That's a classy lady. Look.
Here we go.
Jonte! I was so happy to see Jonte in that film. Jonte didn't perform during our show. That made me sad. I didn't even realize he was one of the dolls. Shanti, you're going to cry. When she gets to the blue part, she spends a lot of time on blue. You're going to cry. I'm just telling you. Listen, the race against time. Look, the race. What did I say? It was one of the hardest things I've ever done because of the short turnaround time. I practically slept in the edit, color, and mix sessions. The race against time continued in order to get this film out so quickly, but it was so worth all the grind. I am overwhelmed by the outpouring of love from my hive, and wow, I'm so touched and encouraged by the incredible reviews. I love seeing everyone all dressed up in their most opulent looks in the theaters. The mute challenge is happening even in the theater. Y'all are cracking me up. Please keep that energy going. I can't wait to see what else you do, smiley face. I also love seeing the positive takeaways from people who were not my fans or didn't yet know my story. The people who had no interest in seeing my shows, who have now gained a deeper understanding and respect for all that it takes to be a Renaissance woman. I'm proud that we launched the film on World AIDS Day in memory of my Uncle Johnny. I pray I continue to make something that lifts all of y'all up the way you continue to lift me up when I'm often critical and feel my art is never finished. The pendulum swings. I feel gratitude. We did it. We have the #1 movie in the country and 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's because of you and your support.
Whoa.
I humbly thank you. She never talked to us that much. Ever.
Ooh, yeah.
Can't wait for you to see it. You know me. I was watching it for the production stuff. Girl. There's so much. She had to do so much. I love her. Okay. I'm just going to need to take a minute to get the voicemails together. Everything's fine. Ready?
Yep.
Oh shit.